Hello people, this is Keith in Modesto doing my Let's Play Minecraft series using Feed the Beast and Direwolf 20's mod pack. Here I am on my platform. This is right after the end of my previous episode. I haven't done anything since I closed out that episode. And it's a few days later. Work and life and stuff has kept me from doing anything since then, but I'm going to work on it today, and I'm going to start off right now by showing kind of my my design, the software end of the design, as opposed to the hardware, which is the turtles. You know, it's kind of a weird thing to talk about the distinction between hardware and software when this is within a virtual gaming world that is all on your computer anyway. But so the way I was doing it before, my original design was to have a program on each turtle. I will terminate this to show the program that I have. If I do a list, you'll see I've got startup. That is the program. It starts up when the turtle boots up, which happens whenever you start the game or load the chunk that the turtle is in. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this. Edit startup. Okay. So the way I was doing it originally, and you can see this if you look at like the last episode, is I had the program on the turtle. It would receive a command from the computer over here, and when it did, the command was go. You know, and this was transmitted over RedNet using this modem. There's a modem on the computer. Each turtle has a modem on it on the right-hand side. The computer would issue a command go that would be received by the turtles, and when they did that, they would deploy. Actually, they would start a little. Did I make it a function or just anyway? There was a loop. It would, when it received the command go, the turtles would deploy their mining well, sleep for 30 seconds. I think I had it, and then after 30 seconds, it would drop everything in its inventory into the relays below. Below each turtle is a relay, which is connected with tubes to this ender chest, and then they would pick up the mining turtle that was in front of them and put them in their first slot. So they would deploy, sleep, drop, retrieve. That was kind of, and that was all. That program is all on the turtle. So this computer would just say go, and then it would wait. The turtles would do their thing, all controlled by their own program, and then when they were done, the computer could do something else. Now, and I had some timing issues, and I was just trying to think. I was going to kind of, because, you know, while the turtles were doing their thing with the mining well in front of them, the computer here was trying to start to move the program in front of, would try to move the program forward, the platform, excuse me. The computer would try to move the platform using the frame motors, but it couldn't because the mining wells were in front of them. So it would only be able to move the platform again once the mining wells were retrieved, and the turtles were ready to redeploy anyway. So that wouldn't have been a big deal, but I didn't really like that conceptually, I guess. And so I was trying to use messages back and forth between the turtle and the computer to fix the timing on that, and that was not working. I mean, it worked fine with one turtle, but when I tried to use it with all of them, some of them would not really respond reliably. I don't know why that was, and I was looking at it trying to figure out, you know, why. You know, if it's working with one turtle and all the turtles have the same program, why isn't it working with all of them? And I had a problem with one of the tubes here, which might have been the issue, but I'm not sure. But I kind of decided to scrap that. I was deciding to scrap that design and go a different route. In fact, when I decided on this other way of doing it, it kind of solved the timing issue between the computer here and the turtles anyway. So this is the new. Let me find that turtle. I already stopped. Here we go. My new design here is, first off, the first thing that happens with the program is the turtle sleeps for 4 seconds, and that is just to make sure when the game first loads and you first load this chunk that this platform is in. I just want to make sure that this computer is ready to go before the turtles are. Because it's turtles that are issuing the command. So I just made the turtle sleep for 4 seconds. That's just at the very beginning. It's outside the loop. Anyway, so then we open the RedNet port on the right, and we select the first slot. We want to make sure that the first slot is selected, and then we go into this loop. And what the loop is just the turtle, the program on the turtle just waits for a message from RedNet. That's all this loop does to begin with. We initialize our variables here, ID and message, which are going to hold the ID and the message that is received by rednet.receive. And when you do this when you execute rednet.receive without any numbers in the parentheses, it just waits forever to receive a message. Then once it receives a message, it checks. It does these two. It does an if then, and then an if else then, and then another else if then. I don't remember if there's a switch statement in Lua, but so this is like a switch statement. So if the message was deploy, then the turtle's going to deploy the mining well. If the message was drop, then the turtles will start dropping whatever is in its inventory into the relay below it. And then if the message, is retrieve, then the turtle will retrieve, by using a dig command, will retrieve the mining well in front of it, and then we let it sleep for 2 seconds just to make sure the loop doesn't do something weird, and that probably isn't necessary. And that's it, which means that all the timing, how long do you wait between deploying, dropping, and retrieving, and all that stuff is all going to be handled by the program on the computer instead of by the program on the turtle. That means number one, if I'm trying to work out timing issues like how long does the mining well need to be deployed, I can't talk. How long do all 16 mining wells need to be deployed before they reach the bottom, before they reach bedrock? And of course, it's actually just under a minute, so I'll probably just make that a minute. But before I had all these things working, I couldn't figure that out reliably, because how long it takes them depends, among other things, on how much energy they have available through the tesseracts, and that varies depending on how many of them are actually deploying their mining wells. Well, anyway, so I can fool around and I can fool around with the timing on this program on this computer, which is just a single line to change, instead of having to fool around with it on the programs on the turtles, because if I make a change there, I have to change all 16 programs on each turtle. I don't remember now. I watched the very beginning of Direwolf's video where he came up with this design just to confirm that the turtles can drop. To confirm that the mining wells place all the stuff they excavate into the turtles. But I didn't watch the whole thing through a second. I watched it 2 months ago or something when it first came out, but I didn't watch it last week all the way through. I just watched the beginning. So I don't remember how Direwolf solved this little problem. He uses some what's it called? I don't remember what it's called, but he uses there's some program that you can use that actually uploads the code on your turtles or computers to a website, and then you can download them again. So it's really easy to propagate the code to other computers and turtles, because it's all done kind of through that mechanism. Whereas I was using a drive. I wonder if I still have it on me. Yeah, I was using a disk drive and a disk, which takes more time. Anyway, so I just, because this is actually a really elegant way to do it, and I don't remember if he did it that way. Maybe he did, and I could have remembered that sooner and saved myself some hassle. But so what we'll see. So I will show you how this works. First, I probably should start this one up again. Oops, I didn't really need to save that. Okay, so start up. Okay, so that's all ready, and this is this still? This is going, but I don't want to use the startup on here because I haven't rewritten it. But I can issue the commands that I need to issue using the interactive Lua interpreter. Is that what it's called? Anyway, there's an interactive Lua interface you can use on the computers that'll issue Lua commands without them actually being written into a program, because the program that's on the computer, this computer right now called startup, I haven't rewritten it yet, so it won't work the way it is right now. But if I go, I guess I need to, actually I don't know if I need to, let me check. Rednet.broadcast, and I want to do deploy. Oh, it did work, okay. So that deploy caused all these turtles to deploy their mining wells. And they're actually already mining because, of course, they hooked up to the the energy conduit. Now if we go, oops, I need to redo this here. Give me my thing here. Okay, so because whenever you come back, I don't know why that is, but that doesn't, oh, there we go. Oh, okay, so here we're at the bottom. And pretty soon we should see the pipes coming down. Oh, you know what? I don't think I didn't move the platform forward. So we're not actually excavating anything. Let's go back up. I should tell it to retrieve. So if I go up and I go back and I type in retrieve, there, it took all the mining wells back. And you see that they have nothing else because there was nothing for them to excavate. So I need to do, what do I need? Oh yeah, I can do redstone dot, what was this? See, it's been a couple of days, so now I don't remember anything very well. Oh, I can just do this, move forward. That program is still on here. And that should move the platform forward one. There we go. Now we're good. Now, if I reissue, I'll have to go back and dilute, don't I? There we go. And I can't, yeah, I wish it would remember, but it doesn't. Okay, so rednet dot broadcast deploy. Okay, do you hear that noise? That's the mining wells. Now, pretty soon we should start to see stuff landing in here. As soon as the mining wells get, there we go. It takes a little while for them to reach the ground, but eventually they do. Okay, so now we should see the pipes coming down and actually excavating stuff. And as you can see, it takes a little while. It takes about a minute. If I don't know if I can put a timer up on the screen. I'm sure there's a way to do it. It might take a while, though, for me to figure it out. Bam, there we are, all the way at the bottom. Now if I go back, now these things are full of cobble and different ores. Now some of them are probably going to be really full. Every once in a while, this one is starting to get full, but depending on what it runs into, you know, because here this one just happened to have it just happened to eat through a column that had a number of different things in it, and so it's possible for quite a bit to get into a turtle sometimes. But anyway, so now if we issue another command, namely drop, drop, it will start dropping stuff into the relays, and you'll see stuff is flowing into the ender chest. Now if you look closely, you'll see some things are backing up because it takes a while for all this stuff to get retrieved. I mean, that ender chest is really full. And in fact, I think I timed this once, and it took, did I write it down? I did, 40 seconds. It took 40 seconds for everything to finally get cleared out of the chest, or to get everything to get into the chest, so there wasn't anything actually going back and forth in the tubes anymore. And so that's a little bit longer than I would like. So, but I've thought of a way to fix that. Instead of waiting until the mining well is totally done and then dropping everything, there's no reason to not drop anything sooner, so to speak, because once the mining well is deployed, it just does its own thing independently of the turtle. The turtle's just sitting there. So after you issue the command to deploy, I can issue the command to drop, you know, like twice or 3 times. You know, twice while the mining is happening, and then a 3rd time after it should be over, and then after all that's done, then you retrieve. I need a quotation mark, and then that's not good either. Okay, here we go. There we go. And and then we got our mining wells back. Anyway, so that's how it works. Now all I have to do is write the program on here, because if I do edit startup, the current program here is just it's just issuing that go command. Where was it at? Oh, first I have this little thing that does the trying to figure out if everything's ready yet, which wasn't really working. Oh, that's a function too. Gotta go further down. Okay. While true do, if the redstone get input front is true, then move forward sleep, then broadcast go. It's still just doing go. So I got to rewrite this program. So that is what I'm going to do next, and then I'll come back and show that is ready and working, and then I got to put in the other turtle and write a little bit of program for that, and I'll explain what that's all about, and then I got to put in, I got to put in I guess they're called portal frames, so that I can go back and forth between the portal down there, the Miscratch portal down there, or gate, I don't know what you call it, book, the linking book, there we go, down there, and the platform, because eventually it's going to keep on going that way, and eventually it will be far, far away, so I want a way to get to the platform quickly, of course, and I get that, people have done that from Direwolf, so I'm going to do that, and also I need to put a world chunk loader here, because if I'm not here, this chunk isn't loaded, and of course, which means the platform's not going to be working, and that's not good because I want this to be able to do stuff while I'm not around. So I have to have a chunk loader on here, and I haven't done that yet. So those are the things I got to do. So I will be right back. All right, people, I'm back. I've been working on redoing the code here, and you can see that the machine is actually running. The mining wells are deployed. I've got it set up so that after the mining wells are deployed, the turtles do multiple drops into the relays to help make sure that everything has time to clear out. So you can see things are making their way to the center chest and being pulled out. I've been running this thing, testing things, and every once in a while something goes wrong and all the mining wells get dropped, that is, and into the ender chest and make their way into my Energistics network. And if we look, I've like set the thing running and just left it, and so you can see these there's these gaps in where the mining has happened because of that, and so oops, in an effort to fix that, I've added more time for the mining to happen and the drops to happen. So I don't know if it's been fixed yet, but maybe it has. And I've got this other turtle over here, which just has this one piece of cobble in it, and what's happening there is, I guess I should stop this thing and show the code. I did make a chunk loader here, so let's go ahead, and while that cycle is finishing, I can go and place this chunk loader down right here, and let us show the lasers. And I think what we can do here is make it a line. That's not what I thought would happen. Let's see. Okay, that's not what we want. Okay, so let's see if we can get it just down to 3 chunks. Maybe that's what we want. possible to make it just 2. That's not going to work. Because at some point it'll pass a chunk boundary, and part of the machine will be in one chunk, and part of the machine will be in another chunk, including where the chunk loader is. So we have to have at least more than one chunk. So I guess 3 chunks will be it. And since it's in a line, that means it'll be one chunk in front of the chunk loader, one chunk behind, and the chunk that the chunk loader is in, which I think should work just fine. Let's turn on the boundaries and we see. I guess right now the chunk loader is in one chunk and the rest of the machine's in another chunk. Wait, it's okay. Let's see here. Is it FN? Can't do what I wanted. Oops, there's something going on there. Stop that. Stop that. The cursor's moving all by itself. Slowly. Could be a problem. Oh, I think I hit the wrong. I've seen that before. Okay, there we go. Is that better? No. Let's see. Hit this button. There we go. If you hit F8, I don't know why, but if you hit F8, FN and then F8 accidentally, it does that weird thing. Okay, so let me turn that on. Okay, so I thought it would be the chunk ahead of it, because that's not going to work. Chunk behind, chunk. Oh no, it is a chunk ahead of it. Okay, good, that'll work. How did I get there? Okay, so let's turn those off. There. And let's hide the users. Okay, now the code. So the only change here, well, let's see. We've got a new function, platform state, which is used by this program on this computer to retrieve the state of the platform, whether the mining wells have been deployed or they have been retrieved. And then the function here, and you see all it does is we set up some local variables, and then we send a message to computer 37, which is the new turtle right there. That's number 37. And the message is get state, and then it waits to receive a message back from that turtle, and then it checks and then it just sets the state to the message, whatever message it receives, and that's all. Then it returns the state, so it returns a string. And then we have this local function which just resets the platform. Well, it just like goes through one cycle. That's what you do if the message received back from that turtle over there is that the mining wells have been deployed. That means that we close down the game or the chunks unloaded, which shouldn't happen now because of the chunk loader. But anyway, that means we ended the game and then started it back up again in the middle of a cycle when the mining well was deployed but hadn't been retrieved yet. So we want to, this just runs through one cycle to let the mining wells have time to mine all the way down to bedrock and retrieve everything, and drop all the resources we gathered and then retrieve the mining wells. Okay, so then we come back to the main loop. Well, first, before we go into the main while loop, that's an infinite while loop. It just keeps on cycling forever while the computer's on. We check the state by, we declare a variable local state, and then we set it equal to a function call, which is platform state, which is the function that we just went over up above, which sends a message over here to this computer, and we look at this function. Okay, so what this does is, of course we have to open up the modem on the right hand side, and then we have it just continually doing this loop right here. Okay, and what it does is it listens for messages from the central computer over there, and then it checks to see what the message was. Now there are three possibilities: deploy, well, three that it's listening for: deploy, retrieve, and get state. And you can't see the whole sentences here because they're too long. But anyway, so if it's deploy, then it's going to make sure that that piece of cobble in the inventory on the right hand side, the inventory for the turtle, it's going to make sure that it executes these two commands, turtle select 2 and turtle transfer to 1, to make sure that if the mining wells are deployed, then that piece of cobble is in the first slot. That's where that piece of cobble will be once those two commands are executed. Because what transfer, turtle.select just tells it which slot to make the current slot, and then turtle.transfer 2, what that does is it transfers whatever in the currently selected slot to the slot in parentheses. So once we select 2, that makes 2 the current slot. Then we transfer to 1, and that transfers whatever is in 2 to slot 1, right? So then the next possible message it's going to listen for is retrieve, and so it'll execute turtle.select 1 and turtle.transfer to 2 will make sure what that piece of cobble, it'll make sure that piece of cobble is in the second slot. So what that means is that slot number 1 stands for the mining wells being deployed, and slot number 2 represents the mining wells having been retrieved and in the mining turtles in their inventory. Else, the other possibility is get state. It could receive the message get state, and that is a message from the central computer telling it, hey, tell me where that piece of cobble is. So if it gets that message, it'll set the local state of its own local variable here to deployed, and first it does that. It just assumes it's deployed, and then it checks how many items are in the first slot. And if there are no items in the first slot, that means the piece of cobble is actually in the second slot. So the state should not be deployed; it should be retrieved. So we do then state equals retrieved, and then after we do that, we just send a message to computer number 19, which is that central computer over there, and we just send the state. And that's it. So once it sends the state, the state's either going to be deployed or retrieved. And let's go ahead and exit and restart that up. Okay, so now we come back over here, and okay, so we set the local state. In this program, we create a local variable called state, and we set it to something by doing the function called platform state, which is going to send out a message, get state, to that turtle over there, and then it's going to receive the message back, and then it's going to check that message. First we set the state. We just set the state, the local variable, to the message we got back from the turtle, and then this function call is just going to return that state, whatever it was. And then we come back here to this is like the main part of the program. So it sets the state, another local variable called state. Remember, each one of these variables is local, so they don't interfere with each other. So we set this variable to whatever we got back, whatever messages came back from platform state. And then we check that variable to see if it's equal to deployed. And if it is equal to deployed, which means that which means we kind of ended in the middle of a cycle, and the mining turtles have deployed the mining wells, but they didn't bring them back again. So we then perform the function called reset platform, which is just going to give everything time to, give the mining wells time to mine all the way down if they haven't done it yet, and drop all the items into the relays, all the resources, the dirt and the stone and whatever we mined, and then retrieve the mining wells. Oh, we ran out of time. Okay, then retrieve the mining wells and end, right? And otherwise, if it's not deployed, then it's retrieved and we don't have to do anything. And then we go into the main loop, which is the same as before, except for I added more time. I added another drop so that it would hopefully have time for everything to clear and everything would mess up. Okay, so let's start this thing up again. And we gotta wrap up the episode on the first thing. So, what do we want to do? We want to do just start it. Okay. Nothing's gonna happen because this is here. And actually, why don't we just go ahead and replace this lever with a receiver, a wireless receiver, and we need to set this to something. So let's set it to 10. What is advanced? Oh, it gives me this. That's what I want. Okay, because I don't have any. So let's see. We call this mining platform. There we go. Set name. Did that do it what I wanted? I guess so. There we go. I don't know why I didn't. I thought that would be down here. Well, maybe I have to have more than one. Okay, so now if I take out I have a wireless transmitter here, handheld one, in my bag. So let's put this here, and if we turn this on, I guess we need to. There we go. Okay, so mining platform. There we go. Okay, so now if I right click on this, it should, as long as I keep that down, right? Of course, this should be cycling right now, so it doesn't, it only checks every 15 seconds, so we might have to keep our, there we go. So it's just going to go for one cycle because I'm not keeping it down, but it should have deployed. It did. I didn't hear it, but it did. Okay, good. So that should take care of that. And now what we want to do is, I'm not, oh, I'm hitting the wrong, am I hitting the wrong button? I did. I hope I didn't just lose my, I did. I just dropped my sword. Oh, there it is. If I get my hand in the wrong position on my keyboard, I start hitting the wrong keys. Okay, so I gotta wrap this episode up, but one more thing we want to do is come back here to my base and find a spot that looks convenient. I need a transmitter. Actually, I don't think I have one on me. So, wireless transmitter. Yes, give me one of those, please. Okay. So, hey, why not right here? So I put my wireless transmitter. Let's put it right. Will that connect? I guess we can put it right. You know, I'm not liking that so much. Let's see. I want to be able to see it though. I guess we're gonna go ahead for here. Well, whatever. Okay, so, you know, do you see? Let's try that. I was gonna use a piece of redstone wire, but maybe I don't need to do that. I'll put it right there. And then, I guess we might as well set the platform, huh? Set the frequency. Okay, so it's on 10, and then we need a lever. I have some levers right here. Okay, so we put that right there. I wonder if that will interfere with this. It doesn't seem to have a setting for redstone, so maybe not. Okay, so to turn the platform on, all we have, we just turn the lever on, and that frequency is now on, and the platform should be running. Voila! Let's go make sure that's true. Whoops. And then we will wrap up this episode. I still need to put up the, these things, the portal spawners. That's what those are called. I was referring to them as portal frames. I didn't know what they were called. Portal spawners. I still need to set that up. I haven't done that yet. But I guess I'll have to do that off camera because I've run out of time. So, of course, the chunk loader's there, so it should have always stayed in the world. And we can see that the receiver is receiving a signal. So this whole thing is running, and it's filling up right now with materials, and pretty soon you should see stuff flowing through the tubes. It drops every 20 seconds. See, there's stuff going into the chest. So this thing is basically working. Anytime I want this thing to be running, I just turn that lever on, and if I want to turn it off, I turn the lever off. I still need to put up the frame spawners. I'll put one of them right here, of course, and I have to set up. Actually, I need more receivers and transmitters and some redstone wire. I think whatever. I need to do all that stuff, but I will do that off camera, and I guess I'll show that working at the beginning of the next episode before doing whatever it is I'm going to be doing in the next episode. So, but we will wrap this up now. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.